Hello and welcome to another edition of In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr. That's with two T's, not one. And we are talking with another amazing artist. On this show, I love talking to people who are doing art things. And she's also an author and a singer-songwriter. She's doing both of like I do. And I have great guests on here. So glad to have her on. So give me a little things that's going on. Her new single is Jane. It's really catchy. It's really good. Go on Spotify. You'll do that. You'll follow her. She has an album coming out called Loose Ends. We'll talk about that. But she also has a book, and she's coming out with a line of clothing that goes with the book. It's Annie's Pajammies, which is a cute name. And she's coming up with a little longest about that too, what merch looks like with that. My new BFF, Annabel Gutherz. Hi.
Hello, James. Thank you so much for having me. What a fabulous intro that was. I'm honored to be here.
Well, my pleasure. Honored to have you here too. I want to first ask you, how are you doing? Because everybody right now, we're all going through the pandemic, and I always ask everybody right now as like a time capsule, like, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm okay. I'm trying to stay busy and stay productive, but my mom just broke her ribs,
Oh my goodness.
which is not great, but she's on the mend. But that's just sort of where we're at right now here in the Guthers household.
Yeah, that's kind of well, much more healing for your mom, as it's like ribs are. Ooh, of that.
Yes. How are
I've
you
broken
doing?
ribs. I thank you for asking. Actually, I'm hanging in there. It's funny because it's ups and downs. There's some weeks I feel it's amazing and jazz and everything's going on, and some weeks I'm like, I want to go out to eat at the restaurants. I want to do this. I mean, there's things that I miss. I miss being social. I mean, just like
Right.
basic social stuff. I wasn't a person who went out all the time, but just like basic social things. I live in a big house, I have a big yard, I'm a gardener, I have a huge garden, and that's my sanctuary. But I had a friend come over with his dogs. It was nice, and I didn't realize how much I missed that. The dogs roamed the yard. We were socially distanced. We talked. We had masks on. We talked. But for like an hour, I had a friend over with his dog,
Oh,
and I
that's
felt
so
really good.
nice. So good. So
So I
I
miss,
definitely miss the social aspect as well.
yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
been a long time.
I can tell you're a social person like that. We're friendly and social, and I don't mind being. I like being at home. I have no problem being at home, but I also miss just having people and having conversation in person, not just on this, not just on
Yes.
my phone. But so that was nice. I didn't realize I had a glow afterwards. I didn't realize how much I had missed just that. And the dogs running around. I'm playing with the dogs, and I was like, oh, I miss that. I miss that. So,
Yes.
but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing good.
Okay.
Um,
Thank goodness.
I don't know if I'm ready for Christmas yet. This is coming soon. I don't. I guess I'm ready. I guess I'm not ready. I have no idea.
The seasons are kind of just mixing into
They
one.
are. They are.
Everything.
I don't even understand. But we were doing good. Okay, so I want to first talk about because you have several things that you do, and I want to talk about your music first. 'Cause that's like I'm wearing a music shirt. I love music. Everybody knows
Yes.
who knows me knows I have music. The one thing I want to ask you is you released a song before, and I have a song out now, but you're working on your album. I remember my first album, which is called "Songs from My Inside Voice," 6 years ago. I felt like my whole life experience was leading up to this. So I want to find out for you, how do you feel about this first album?
Oh my goodness. I definitely feel like it's a piece of my heart. And I think I worked on it for so long. I've
Yeah.
worked on it for multiple years and I've held on to these songs just because I feel like it's a little frightening to bear even a little piece of your heart to the world. So it took me a little while to come to terms, or not come to terms, but just say, you know what, art is meant to be shared and it's meant to connect us and it's meant to unite us and teach us and heal us. And so that's what I'm hoping that my art can do for others.
But is it scary? It's kind of scary. It's like giving birth. I mean, I've never given birth, but I can assume it's like that because it's very much we are putting our hearts out there, our hard work, our emotions, and whatever songs, and going, here they are, and
It,
right?
yes, and it really I hope I pronounced this word properly. Chronologizes my life from the time I'm, let's say, 15 until now. So it's really giving people a snapshot into my story.
I like that. No, I like that. That's how mine was. My first time was like, well, not 15. I was a little older, but it was mine was several years too. It was several years of just kind of finding my voice. I'm figuring you too, like finding what your voice is, each stage,
Definitely.
right, of your life, finding your voice. Um,
Definitely.
when you listen back to those earlier songs, um, how does it make you feel? Those early songs.
That's such a great question. Jane was actually the first song that I ever wrote. And when I hear back,
Wow.
yeah, that's why it felt so perfect that it was my first debut
Yes.
single.
Yes.
But when I hear back, I'm like, oh, I feel like I could have fixed the lyricism a little, or maybe tweaked that melody. But it was honest to that moment. So I always, reflect back and say that's how I felt at that time, and it's truthful and it's honest, and that's what makes it art. Is that it's
I like,
real, it's authentic.
like that.
Thank
Don't change it. Those are markers in your life.
you.
Those
Exactly.
songs are like where you were, right?
Exactly. I always say this album is definitely the most honest form of expression I could possibly create, especially because when I was writing it, I didn't write with the intent to create an album. I was really
Okay.
just sort of writing these journal entries that soon became songs. And so that's what this is.
What is your like? I'm just sure to go into the process a little bit. What is kind of a typical writing process for you?
I feel like I usually start with lyrics because I'm sort of writing a journal entry. So they start as lyrics, and then I'll hear melodies in my head for those words. And then I'll record that on the voice memos app on my phone.
Yes, kids.
Yes.
I have it too. I know I do it too.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
It
And
is.
then I jot them down, and then I start to develop whatever, the remaining aspects of the song. So let's say I started with the chorus, I'll then write the verse, pre-chorus, bridge, and outro. And then I go to arrange that. So on an instrument, usually I start with guitar. I sort of put together a quick little demo, and then I send that to my amazing co-producer, who's I say he's the king of the musical universe, Dominique Messier. And then
Dominique, say his name.
Dominique,
Dominique.
shout out.
Shout out to him, Dominique. No, I love my producers too. Palms. I love Palms.
Three
Producers,
poems.
seriously, having a good producer work with you and kind of it makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh, it certainly does, James. It certainly does.
What makes Dominic and you work? You think?
I think he's patient. I tend to be very meticulous with all of my art, and I like it to be just so. And he's very patient with me, but also he's just an expert in so many different facets of being a musician. He's a drummer, but he also plays guitar. He also plays bass. He could play piano. So he's just so versatile. And I feel like that versatility and that experience and that expertise really helps. And he's also so kind, just an amazing person. And who doesn't love to work with such a kind person?
I agree. I agree. You're funny. So you're saying your writing process is usually like I'm a lyric person too. First, usually, 'cause I'm a writer. I'm a writer first, and I don't always know. I'll write something down. Like it'll come to me from somewhere, and you know how this goes. And you write it down. I don't know for sure it's a song. I've actually written things down where a piece of it, one was part of this song, one was part of that. Like it just isn't that crazy how that works?
It's you know what? It's so crazy. Usually I try and write one song a week. So I feel like that
Okay.
helps me stay focused on one topic. But sometimes I'll have an idea and I'll jot it down and then I'll use it for another song weeks later.
Yeah. I had the experience twice in my life, twice, where I dreamt, because I know because I'm a lyric person first and then music. I dreamt the lyric and music at the same time. It was really weird of the chorus
That's
in my dream. And I woke up and like went to the phone immediately in my groggy voice. I'm like, ah. But I wanted, I wanted to get it down. I wanted to get it, the melody down and the lyric. And one of my songs on my last album is called Life is a Candle. And
oh,
I remember
love
so
that.
vividly hearing it, like hearing it done. And I remember, and I did that. And I went to my producer and I wrote it, and it came out the way I wanted to. I mean, it was like it was really. I don't have that very often. It happened one other time too that I dreamt the lyric and the melody at the same time. It doesn't happen.
That's a literal dream.
Yeah, right,
A
right.
literal dream. I've had occasions where the lyric comes with the melody in my head simultaneously, and that's always like magic. But I've never had an experience where I've dreamt of that. Oh my god, I hope that happens to me.
Oh, it is too. It's a trip, Annabelle, because it was like I remember being in the dream, and I'm singing the song in the dream. Like it's like I'm
That's
like
a moment.
I was like, okay. I remember being in the dream going, oh, I like the song. But I'm the one seeing it. And I remember waking myself up to make sure I got it down. Like something in my brain said, wake up. It was like 3 in the morning. I literally rolled, my bed's over there. I literally rolled over and I grabbed my phone and I said that my voice was not fully in. And I just did the best I could. And then the next morning I went back to sleep. And the next morning I woke up and I started flushing it out. And then I told my producer and he was like, well, I can figure something out with that. It came out. It's on my album Safety in Numbers. It's a really good, it's a song, it's a fun song, but it was about life being just kind of fragile. And because we're in this weird state these days that life's like a candle, you can blow out the candle and that's how life could change, that kind of thing. So divine intervention, I completely.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. I have a song called Fragile and Loose Ends, but
See, there you go.
The Candle is such a great title. I
Isn't that
can't
great?
wait to hear it.
Thank you. Well, first of all, so your titles. I mean, do you try to have catchy titles, or are they part of just whatever the song calls for? Like, what is your? I never asked that of anybody actually. I never asked the person that. You're my
You
first.
know what? I never start with a title. I usually write
Yeah.
and see where the lyrics take me, and then I take a title that's in the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so that was the case with my song Fragile, which actually is one of the songs I wrote, one of the songs on Loose Ends, and I wrote it in the span of 15 minutes. I wrote it, produced it, and sang it. It was the last song I wrote for Loose Ends, the last song I recorded, and the one vocal take that I did is the one that we actually ended up using. I
Lightning
know.
in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle. I love that when it happens.
Lightning in a bottle. That's what that felt like to me, that song. And it was a
Just
real milestone song for me too, because it was one that I really produced from
to finish. And
start to finish.
and people that don't know this, and she can attest to this, that doesn't always happen.
Oh, it certainly does not.
No, it's not. I have songs that I worked on for months, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" And I kept coming back to them. Right, you keep coming back to them because you're drawn to it, and then you're just like,
Yes. Yes. I also, oh my gosh, I've had experiences like that as well. Another song on the record that took me like a full month, day in, day out, is a song called Mountain Man. And I just worked on it until because I felt like there was potential,
"Yes,
but
yes,
I wasn't getting there.
yeah."
And so you just have to keep working, developing until you're satisfied and feel fulfilled with with the final product.
Very true. And it just keeps calling you back. I was like, there's some songs I've never finished and whatever, but other songs I have keep coming back to. I go, there's something here. There's a reason why I keep coming back to the song. So like you just trudge through it. I can do this. There's something in here. And a lot of times, like you said, magic happens. You go, okay, now I got it. Sometimes I think you have to live life sometimes too, and maybe that adds to the lyrics.
Yes, definitely. Sometimes I also feel like it's a story that you just feel compelled to share. Like it has to come from your voice. It's
Yes,
just
and
like,
yeah, and you got to find the right lyrics, obviously, to convey that. I mean, that's the point.
of
That's the point.
course.
How's it sound? Like, how's it sound? How do you describe your music
Hmm.
right now? I'll say right now because music always evolves and changes. How do you describe your music now?
Wow. Stylistically, I would describe it as eclectic. I don't think it fits into a box. And I think that it speaks to the many years I wrote it, like this album. It took, many years to write. So I think that speaks to the eclecticism of the sound and the style. And also thematically, it's quite diverse. And I think that speaks to the eclecticism as well. And then I also think it's just really, really honest. Again, because I didn't write with the intent of creating an album, I just wrote from the heart. And I think it was not contrived in any way. So I think in that way, it's really honest. And that's probably what makes it a little scarier to share too, is that vulnerability.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
it does. But you have to put it out. Like you said, I was told, especially this time period, people want content. People need hope. They need
Yeah.
something to relate to. So we're the artists to do that, Annabelle. That's what we're here for.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Yes.
So put it out there. How many
Yeah.
songs?
11 songs.
Good. Okay, nice. Good 11 songs. Now for me, because I've done several albums at this point, the hardest
Cool.
part actually is putting together the album tracks, like and the order. Isn't that crazy? It's just like because you went to so for you, what was the process like that for you?
Oh my, you know what's funny is that we kind of like just kept picking songs as we went along.
Okay.
And I think when I had 9 songs, I thought the album was complete. I was like, okay, it's done. And then I had produced a song for one of my courses at Berkeley.
Okay.
And I finished it and I played it for my mom, whose opinion means everything to me. My family's opinion, because they mean everything to me. Their opinions mean everything to me. And I played it for them and they're like, this has to go on the album.
Okay.
So I went to Dominique and I said, what do you think? Do you think we can, squeeze one more? And he goes, absolutely. So that was 10. But 10 just felt too perfect. It felt too even a number. And I was like, I feel like I need an 11, especially because my lucky numbers are 7 and 11. So
My
I
lucky
was like,
my lucky
I
number is
feel like,
11, so I love 11. 11's my number.
oh, see, 11 is your number. I love the number 11. So I'm like, I think I need an 11th song. But I said, if it doesn't come to me, it doesn't come. It's not meant to be. But then I wrote Fragile. So I said, okay, that's the 11th track. And then putting them in order, we had to make sure it told the story.
Exactly. It's not
And
easy.
it's not easy. And I wanted it to feel like life. Like at the beginning, we were sort of discussing quarantine. Some days you feel great and some days you don't. Life sort of ebbs and flows, and there's peaks and there's troughs. And I wanted that to be reflected not only in the lyricism, but also melodically and in the feel. So that's sort of how we ordered the album. It's sort of, up and down like a wave.
Yeah,
But
no,
what
it's tough. I know nowadays in the age of pick a song, you can just pick a song now out of the album. But I know folks who listen to full albums, and I do too. And usually, if it's an artist I like, I want to hear everything, and I want to hear from beginning to end. And I like the whole journey I'm taken by an artist. I think there's an art to that, and I think it's a lost art to that.
100%. I always listen start to finish. You got to get the whole experience.
Mhm. So yes, I did. But my one of my albums had 17 songs. It was a little. I couldn't not do. I recorded like 30 songs, and I had to whittle it down. I'm like, and I just like you. It's like first I had 13, and I had 14. And it was just like I said, you know what? People are doing it now. They are putting out 18, 19 song albums, and I do. I was like, I was going to do it, and because I felt like when I heard it all at once, it made sense. The songs
Yeah.
all fit. It's a really tough. It's really, oh my god, it's so tough to just put together a project because you already did the song, so you're happy, but you also want to make sure that the right songs are on there. I mean, because it's you, like you said, it's you, right?
Yes, oh my goodness, yes. When I was picking songs, that was hard because I'd written so many, but I said, which ones do I really want to fully produce for this record? And that was a tough decision. And I remember even Jane, which again ended up being my debut single, the first song that I ever wrote, I totally forgotten about it. And then my mom was like, what about that first song that you wrote? And I was like, Jane? And she's like, Jane. And then now reflecting back, I said, this album would not be the same without that song.
Yeah, the song's
So
good.
every, they're all like little pieces of a puzzle that they just fit together.
And Jane's good, folks. And I'll share it on my social media. I shared one thing on my Snapchat story, well, no, my Instagram story earlier.
Oh,
So just see that.
you're amazing, James.
Of course, do that for you. So when is that coming out? I know it's next year, but do you have a date or a quarter? Like what quarter? First quarter, second quarter? Like what are you bringing out?
That's a great question. We don't have a date. We know 2021. I think I'm going to be releasing some singles
Okay.
prior to that, and we'll just see where that takes us.
Okay, I understand that, and I know there's nothing you can't really perform anywhere in public. I mean, not yet. Hopefully, that comes back next year sometime.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm so anxious to perform and to be able to share in that experience with others, because
And
that's really what it's all about, is connecting with other people.
I agree. Are you doing any videos?
I'm planning to do some videos,
Okay.
maybe some acoustic videos, maybe
Okay.
some
Good.
music
Okay.
videos. We definitely have lyric videos and visualizer videos, which were created by this remarkable studio team in Los Angeles, Amber Park, and her studio team, and they just did an absolutely incredible job
Okay. Okay.
with the
Good.
visualizers.
Yeah, I know nowadays lyric videos are we just again, it's hard to get productions together. It's just so tough right now. But there's ways to get music out there. There's ways to get your music out there, and she's being
There certainly is.
there is. So Jane can be found everywhere, right? It's on Spotify, or on Apple, like some places.
Oh,
Yeah.
music, Amazon, wherever you think you can find it, you can find it.
I like that. I like that. I always say like that. Now I want to talk about your other side of you, which I
Yes,
also do. I do books also. You have a book called Annie's Pajammies, and so that's something it's a children's book, correct?
yes,
And
it is.
where did that come about?
You know what? I really wanted to find a tangible and measurable way to have an impact, a positive impact on the world. And so I was sort of thinking about things that drove me, things that I could do that were sustainable. So I was thinking, I love storytelling. I love pajamas. I basically live in my pajamas when I'm not on Zoom calls.
There it is.
and and that's when I sort of conceptualized Annie's Pajammies, a children's picture book series, in conjunction with a corresponding line of pajamas, and donating a portion of the proceeds from every unit sold to help facilitate access to education across the globe.
Now, okay, so when I heard the title and I saw you were gonna, I said you have to do pajamas. You had to. Like you just say you have to do a line.
You need
So,
pajamas.
yeah, you do. So I'm like, so I mean, but are the pajamas for kids? Because it's a children's book, or are
The
they for
pajamas
both?
are for kids. They're currently in production. We're waiting because we released the first book, which is Annie's Pajammies and Her Magical Rainbow Ribbons.
Yes.
But we're waiting for the pajamas that are corresponding to
Yeah.
that book, just because COVID sort of slowed everything down,
Yeah.
as COVID does.
Right. Yes, yes, it does. I know it does. But no, I love that. I love that idea. I think it's such a cute idea. I have little girls in my life, and so I want to get it for all them. I'm very excited. My
Can
little
I say that they're your granddaughters?
one's a granddaughter. Yes.
Because your viewers are not going to believe that your grandfather, yeah, drink water.
Drink
To
water.
the
I told her that before. I said drink
Naples
water.
telling me to drink water. That's for the viewers out there, because I don't drink enough water.
Well, there's been proven. I read a book on water, and water really does have a lot of properties that help flush out toxins and things in your life. And it's just a natural. We're made of water, like it's just natural, and that really does clear your skin up. It makes, I mean, but moisturizing too is very important. I would say about moisturizing important. You take care of your skin. It's very,
Yes.
there's a million products out there. Find the ones that are right for you. My skin is soft. People love my skin. It's soft. It's always not much on it. But water really does have a lot of great properties that help you with everything.
This is why I need to drink water. I
Help,
need
helps
to.
with, I have not gotten sick this year at all. I have not gotten sick at all this year. I take vitamins too, but I have not gotten sick this year.
You take vitamins?
Mhm. I do.
That's good. I take vitamin D. I take vitamin C.
Good,
But
good.
I think I have to up my vitamin game.
I take a multivitamin, so I take one. It's just totally
Smart.
perfect.
So I just get it all in there.
Yes, and I have not gotten sick this year. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
That's not wood.
What has been knocked on?
Yeah, I'll knock on something later. I don't know. That's wood. Okay, that's wood over there.
I'll double knock for you now.
Yes, thank you. I'll take the surrogate knocking. I'll take it. All right. So how hard or easy was it to do the book? Because you were talking a picture book. We're talking. I mean, so like, what was that like for you?
It took quite a bit of time. I actually took part in a social entrepreneurship program that really helped give me the resources and the tools I needed to really bring it to fruition. But also because basically the premise of the book is this protagonist, Annie, travels across the globe in her magical pajamas. So, and that's her dream, is to learn about and travel to different places around the world. And so the first book takes place in India, but I had to be sure that there was no cultural appropriation, that everything was
Good.
culturally accurate, that we were featuring different facets of the culture and of the different locations that she travels to and explores. And so that was a little challenging, because I had to proofread and make sure with a number of people from the actual countries that Annie
Good.
goes to.
That's
So
very
it
thoughtful of you.
took a while.
Very
Thank you so
thoughtful.
much.
Yeah, no, very thoughtful. That's something that's really smart. And you can go, and now you can go anywhere. I mean, you can take Annie anywhere. I mean, that's a great thing. You can take her all over the world.
Annie can go anywhere. And then the illustrations, I had the absolute honor of working with such talented artists, specifically Pierre Droal.
Mhm.
He's honestly like, he makes me speechless with the art that he creates.
Hey,
And also,
Pierre.
oh my gosh, and also this other artist, Jurka Vince Jonathan Vitainen. It's interesting because I was able to work with artists from across the globe. Jurka is from Finland, Pierre's in France. Just fascinating how technology makes the world flat.
Yeah, I'm working with. I like that. I'm working with one of my producers is from Italy. So I mean, it's just that's how. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, it's like completely technology brings it. It's a small world after all, so to speak. I mean, it really is.
It's a small world after all. And Italy, oh,
I know. I know. I want to go to Europe so bad, but I'm waiting for everything obviously to calm down. But I
of
miss my
course.
school there, so I want to go
Where
there.
in Italy is he from?
Northern Italy. I want to say Milan. I think.
Oh my God.
I know. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go.
Yeah, you know what? When all this is done, you're going to go to Italy, you're going to go to Milan, you're going to be drinking your water there,
That's
listening to music, maybe
well, and
eating
wine too. But yeah,
pasta.
and wine too. I'll drink my water and wine.
Everyone
So,
needs a little bit of vino, as they say.
yes, they say exactly. It's like so you mentioned about you. So you mentioned about your family, and so you come from a big family, small family.
Wow. I never thought about the size of my family. Well, my immediate family,
Yeah.
my mom and dad, and then my sister, and we have our fabulous pet Walter.
Oh, hi, Walter. Well,
Oh my gosh. Walter is basically the love of all of our lives. My dad will say, not his, but we all know the
we know the
truth.
truth. You know the truth.
Walter is all of our hearts.
Oh,
So yeah, we're pretty close knit. And then of course I have my grandparents and my cousins.
where's
But yeah, I never thought about the size. So I'm gonna have to think about this one and get back to you about
yeah?
I have a fairly large family.
So your immediate family is small because only you and your sister. You guys get along.
Oh my gosh, we're best friends.
Are you
It's
guys,
amazing.
are you guys close in age?
She's 4 years older than me, so I'm 4 years younger than her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are best friends. Like, yes, I
Is she
love her
musical
so
too,
much.
or a writer or anything? Is she in that realm, or something totally different?
You know what? She is brilliant. She is in the sciences.
Oh, okay.
She just got her master's from Columbia.
Oh well, hello. There you go.
So
She's smart.
yeah, exactly in human nutrition. She wrote her thesis on nutritional epigenetics. I guess I don't, yes, perinatal epigenetics. I hope I'm saying communicating this all
Yeah, well,
properly.
you're close. She's the smart one of the
She's a smart, yeah, she's a
of the
smart
slow
one,
side.
but
We're
she's also an
creative.
incredible writer. She's also very creative. I think she's just a Renaissance woman, someone who's just capable of doing it all and with ease and extraordinarily well.
That's guy like
So I
that.
definitely look up to her because she's just unbelievable.
That's wonderful. What is one piece of advice that your mother has given you that serves you while you're out in the world?
Wow. That's also an amazing question. My mom is always giving such amazing advice. If there's anybody I want to go to for advice, it would be my mom. My mom, I think, it's interesting. I think she leads mostly by example. Like
Okay.
it's not necessarily one thing that she said because there's been so many. I don't know if I could pick just one, but she's the most, her generosity of spirit and her kindness just absolutely unparalleled. She is next to none. And I really mean that with my whole heart. Like I look up honestly everyone in my life, like my dad, my mom, my sister, I look up to them, but my mom really leads by example. I will say one quote that she introduced to me when I was younger, which was a Maya Angelou quote, said, "People won't remember what you said, people won't remember what you did, but people will always remember how you made them feel." And so I always try to lead and make people feel good.
I'm the same way. Say I love that quote. It's the same way. I love that one. And
Oh,
and your dad. So when you look at your dad, what makes you smile about him sometimes?
you know what? He has such a dry sense of humor.
We like that.
He's so funny. He's also so smart. He's just someone who just is able to whatever he sets his mind to is able to accomplish.
Mm,
And that I really look up to.
okay, I like
So
that.
again, they're all my role models and that's such a beautiful thing with that. I could say it and really mean it that my whole family I look up to them. Yeah, they're everything.
No, I love that. So you're at Berkeley College, and what would you say to people when it comes to education? Like, what are you getting out of it that you are glad that you're doing there?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, everything about studying at Berkeley I love. I think it's
Great
just
school.
such
It's a
a
great school, first of all. It's a
it's amazing. I think it's just such a superlative educational experience from the teachers to the course material to, it's practical, yet fun, yet rigorous. It's everything you'd want out of an education, I feel.
yeah.
And I feel also they've introduced me to a lot of the different facets of the music industry, which I feel like I would not necessarily have known prior to being a Berkeley student.
Oh, yeah. My one of my best friends graduated there with in music production, and he just
Oh,
he loved it. He loved it. I mean, it's just wonderful. And but so you said there's some things you've learned. So what is one thing you've learned that you don't think you would have learned if you were just out
I
there?
I think film scoring.
Okay.
I I love writing songs. That's definitely a passion that I've embraced since being at Berkeley. Like when I first entered, I wasn't sure. Well, I wasn't even sure. I knew. doing music would make me the happiest. Before I was considering law, cognitive science, and music. My mom said, "What's going to make you the happiest?" So that's when I committed to Berkeley. But I wasn't sure. I said, "Okay, maybe this will sort of be a stepping stone into becoming an entertainment lawyer." But then when I started, to study there, I was like, no, my passion is definitely songwriting. And then I was introduced to film scoring, which is also just so much fun and so I don't know, it's beautiful. And so I really love that part of the industry. Then there's also the business aspect, which is really fascinating. And so there's all these different facets that I feel like I could just keep exploring and I could never learn enough.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you bring this up because I did my first soundtrack this year for a film, for indie film called Vex. It came out last month, and it's
Yay!
funny because so
Congratulations.
thank you. No, it's so, but it's such it was an interesting challenge because saw the film first and I looked at it and they were like, okay, we need a song for this scene, it's a song for that scene, a love song. I mean, like it's different than writing. It's different than writing for ourselves. It's a whole different experience. You're actually writing, whether it's instrumental or lyrical, you're writing to something specific.
Yes.
It's a trip. I mean, it was a great. I want to do it again. I was hooked. I want to do it again. It was hard, but I want to do it again. I mean, I literally
It,
want to do it again. I think it's so interesting. You said that.
it's also fun to write from a sort of predetermined storyline and
Yeah.
sort of get to invoke some of your story in that,
Yes.
but it's a totally different creative process.
Completely. No, completely. I'm telling you, buddy, completely. I worked on it for 6 months. I mean, it was like a completely
I I
different.
I need to hear this, James.
Is that? It's all out there. I'm gonna send you all the links. I'm gonna send you all the links to everything.
Please,
It's out
yes,
there.
I need all your links. Everyone go listen to James because I know you must be so talented, James. I can't wait to listen.
I'm just little old me. I'm just like, so I'm just here. But no, but I love talking music and books forever. But no, but you mentioned that I was like, yeah, it was a very interesting experience for me. It took longer than I thought, which was fine. There was no rush. It was like we had deadlines. It wasn't anything that bad. And I like the end results. I'm very happy with it. I can stand by it. The artist on it did a great job. But you're right, writing for something specific and that's predetermined. It's a trip. I mean, it's
It is.
accessing another part of your brain, your writing brain.
You know what? It certainly is. And my production skills have definitely improved since being at Berkeley. But I remember it was one of my first classes where I had to score a picture, and so it was a steep learning curve, but I don't know, it's very eye opening, and I just love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And that's something I wouldn't have known. I'm certain, having not gone to Berkeley.
So now you graduate next year, right?
I graduate this year.
Oh, good.
I'm
Congratulations.
I thank you, thank you. This is going to be the following semester is going to be my last semester.
Wow. How's it
I
feel?
know, I know. You know what? Honestly, a little sad. I was talking to my family about this yesterday. I said it has been one of the most enriching experiences. I feel like I could just continue studying at Berkeley forever, which I might do. I think I'm considering pursuing a master's degree from them
Why not?
next year because why not?
Why not? If you like it, if you like it there, why not?
Exactly. And it really fuels me. And I'm learning so much. And I'm always looking to nurture and improve upon my craft. And so,
Yeah.
why not?
So
Why
wait,
not?
so right now, with what's going on, are you studying from home? Is there like is what's going on for you?
I am. You know what? I've always been, sorry, I should have said this, clarified this earlier. I've always been with Berkeley Online. So they
Okay.
have
Okay.
that I was able to work on my album simultaneously to earning my bachelor and simultaneously to working on Annie's Pajammies, which has
Okay.
been amazing. Just that accessibility and that opportunity to be able to do that, to learn from a distance.
No, that's cool. Okay, so you're already good. Okay, you're good. 'Cause I mean, a lot of people they had to stay home. They couldn't go in. So I wasn't sure. I was like, that's good. You're already set, so you're good. I say go
Yeah.
for that masters. If you like it, go for that masters. That's what I say.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Now that you've said that, I feel like I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna say James told me to.
I told
I'm
her to. I was like, I told her to. Like, why not? It's another few years. Let's just do it. It goes by. I mean, like it goes by fast. You say you're feeling sad. It goes by fast, doesn't it? Like you go in it going, oh my god, I got 4 or 5 years right there. You think at first you think that, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm graduating. Like I got college degrees too, and I'm like, by fast.
I cannot believe I'm graduating. I actually have to like pinch myself. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to be a university graduate so soon.
I know.
Oh.
That's so exciting. I love that. So exciting. I don't. I think education is great, and this experience can only help you in your creativity. It can't. It won't do anything to hurt you, and it's yours. Education is yours. You can. No one can take that away from you.
No one could take away, your knowledge, and knowledge is power.
It is.
So
It is.
that sounded, I don't know, that sounded like a little like knowledge is power, but
Yeah, I'm like, stroke a cat.
yes,
I'll stroke a
knowledge
baby
is
Yoda.
power.
It's
Oh,
power.
baby Yoda, stroke that baby Yoda. Yes,
Yeah,
but
baby.
no, definitely knowledge is power for sure.
I agree with that. You are delightful. I can talk to you forever and ever and ever. So this means
Oh,
you have to come back when your album comes out. You have to come back on the show.
consider it a deal, a
We'll
done
promote
deal.
that. We'll
Because
promote
it
it.
was such a pleasure,
Yeah,
honestly.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are wonderful, amazing. And I want to see great things from you. I want to see great things from you.
Thank you,
Um,
Jane.
Tell folks where they can find your music and you on social media.
You know what? They can find me, Annabel Gutherz. Just look me up. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. This whole social media realm is very new to me,
Oh,
but I'm on all the social media platforms and I'm on YouTube. And yeah, it's just my name, ANNABELGUTHERZ, Annabel Gutherz.
and I'll have it in the description, of course, folks. So you can actually go ahead and
Fantastic.
do that too. Make it easy for you. But I want her to say it, of course. 'Cause I want you to get used to saying it because you'll be saying it a lot more as you get bigger and bigger in the creative space.
Thank you so much, James. You are amazing. A big round of applause to you.
Well, you too.
Oh
I'm
my
going to
God,
give it
this
to you
was
also. I'll give it to you also. And folks, I am James Lott Jr. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. I'm on there also. So go ahead and follow me there and see the crazy things that shenanigans I have over there. And again, her music, my music, it's everywhere. This podcast is on every audio streaming service under In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. And you'll see her name. If you think she should be seen by other people, share it. Feel free to share it.
spirit.
Share it. Share it with all your friends. Tell all your friends about it. Tell 2 friends. And also just feel free to, everybody. And then the YouTube channel is my YouTube channel, JLJ Media. I have over 35 shows from Star Wars to soap operas and everything in between. So go ahead and subscribe. There's a button down here somewhere, either under her or under me. It's somewhere there. It's a red button. So it's somewhere, right? It's somewhere down there. Subscribe. I always get it wrong. Usually it's underneath the guest and not me. I'm like, oh,
You're like
it's somewhere.
here, and then it's like
Oh,
here.
exactly. That's my life. Like so.
It's all under. It's under here. It's
Thank you.
here.
It's under here. So hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Tell us what you think. If you have any questions for it, tell us, and I'll pass them on to her. Any opportunities you have for her, I'll pass them on to her people. I'll pass them to her people. You never know. Things like that happen sometimes on here, so you never know who's watching. But we want you to all have compassion, care, consideration for others and yourself. Be safe out there. It's a minefield, so please be safe out there and support indie artists, support music, support the arts. The arts are so important. They're just as important as politics and food and water. I mean, we need our art. Art is what fuels our society and our culture, and supports schools that need to have art in them, all the way
Yes.
down from kindergarten to all the way up to high school. We got to support arts programs. That's something that I feel so strongly about. The arts changed my life, and also it's proven to make you smarter in other areas when you're a creative person. So that's that too. Everyone, please have a safe holiday, and we'll see you next time.
Happy holidays.